Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be talking about how to understand the past, present, and future tense. We'll be talking about each of the tenses, including their forms, uses, and providing you with some helpful examples. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, we have the past tense. We use the past tense to talk about actions that have already happened. There are 3 types of past tense forms that you should be aware of. Let's go over each of them. First up, we have the simple past tense form. We form the simple past tense for regular verbs by adding ed to the end of the base form. So for example, walk becomes walked, and play becomes played. But make sure you watch out for irregular verbs, as these verbs do not follow the same rules. So for example, go will become went, and eat will become ate. Here's a simple sentence as an example. I visited my grandma last week. This indicates a completed action in the past. Secondly, we have the past continuous tense. The past continuous tense is used for actions that were ongoing in the past, often interrupted by another action. It's formed with either was or were, plus a verb ending in ing. So for example, I was reading when the phone rang. This indicates that there was an action going on in the past that was interrupted by another past action. And thirdly, we have the past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is used to talk about an action that was completed before another past action. We form it with had plus the past participle of a verb. For example, I had finished my homework before dinner. This indicates that there was an action completed in the past before another action completed in the past. Next up, let's look at the present tense. The present tense describes actions that are happening now, or it could also describe general truths. There are also a few forms of the present tense, so let's go over each of them. First, there is a simple present tense. We use the simple present tense to describe habitual actions or general truths. For regular verbs, we typically use the base form, but for third person singular, don't forget to add that extra s at the end. I've included some examples here with the same verb to show you a little bit more what I mean. So first person would be I walk, second person would be you walk, and third person would be he walks. Here's another sentence as an example. I usually drink my coffee in the morning. This shows that drinking coffee in the morning is a regular habit. Secondly, we have the present continuous tense. The present continuous tense describes actions happening at this very moment. It's formed with either am, is, or are, plus a verb ending in ing. So for example, I am studying for my exam right now. This indicates that this action is happening at this very moment. And thirdly, we have the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense indicates an action that happened at an unspecified time or that started in the past and continues into the present. It's formed with either has or have, plus the past participle of a verb. So for example, I have visited Paris. This sentence indicates that the action happened in the past, but it's not exactly clear when it happened. Lastly, let's explore the future tense. We use this tense to talk about actions that will happen. And there are also 3 forms of the future tense that we can use to express future actions. And let's go over each of them. The first one we have is the simple future tense. The simple future tense is formed with will plus the base form of the verb. So for example, I will travel to Japan next year. This indicates a decision made at the moment of speaking. Here's another example of a sentence. She will start her new job next month. This indicates an action that will happen in the near future. And the second form we have is the future continuous tense. The future continuous tense describes actions that will be ongoing at a specific time in the future. It's formed with will be plus a verb ending in ing. So for example, I will be studying for the exam tomorrow. This shows that there will be an action that is ongoing in a future moment. And last, we have the future perfect tense. The future perfect tense expresses an action that will be completed before a specific time in the future. We form it with will have plus the past participle of a verb. So for example, I will have finished my project by Friday. Now, I've thrown a lot of information at you in just a few minutes, so to end the video, let's do a quick recap of what we learned today. We first talked about the past tense, and the 3 forms of the past tense are simple past tense, ending in ed, past continuous tense, formed with was or were plus a verb ending in ing, and the past perfect tense formed with had plus the past participle of a verb. Next up, we talked about the present tense, and the 3 forms of the present tense are simple present tense, which is base form verb, plus an s if it's third person, the present continuous tense, which is formed with am, is, or are, plus a verb ending in ing, and the present perfect tense, which is formed with has or have, plus the past participle of a verb. And lastly, we talked about the future tense. And the three forms of future tense are simple future tense, which is formed with will plus the base form verb, future continuous tense, formed with will be plus a verb ending in ing, and the future perfect tense, formed with will have plus the past participle of a verb. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, let us know by giving it a thumbs up. And for more content like this, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell to know when we upload a new video. And finally, please let us know in the comments below if you have any further questions regarding any of the tenses we talked about today. Until next time, keep practicing and happy learning.